Have you ever heard of a curse so strange that it turned milk into poison? Welcome to the Fake or True Ghost series, where we unravel mysteries that chill your spine. Once upon a time, in a small village in the mid-1990s, there was a peculiar tale whispered among the locals. They claimed that an evil spirit had cursed the milk supply, turning it into something deadly. This wasn't just a myth. Strange signs began to appear.
My usually healthy cow refused to drink water. When I checked the milk, it seemed off.
The neighbors whispered, "It's the curse of the spirit." But Ravi didn't believe in superstitions. One night, as he stayed up to investigate, something eerie happened. The milk jug, left untouched in the corner, started shaking on its own. A chilling sound echoed through the house, a woman's voice whispering, "Beware." Have you ever experienced something so bizarre that it left you questioning reality? Let us know in the comments. Determined to find the truth, Ravi reached out to Rahul Baba, a well-known spiritual guide.
This is no ordinary curse, it's the mark of an enraged spirit. To break it, you must find the source, something that connects the spirit to this village.
With Baba's guidance, Ravi uncovered the truth. Decades ago, a woman had been wrongfully accused of stealing milk and was exiled from the village. Her dying words were a curse. "You will never drink milk in peace." To appease the spirit, Ravi and the villagers held a ritual offering her favorite sweets. The curse was finally lifted, but the marks of her wrath, strange cracks on the jugs and the haunting whispers remained a chilling reminder. It all began in the small town of Tizara, where strange occurrences had become the talk of the town. Akshara, a first-year student in her second semester, decided to share her eerie encounter.
I never believed in ghosts, but what happened to me that night changed everything.
One quiet evening, Akshara returned home late after a group study session. The streets were deserted, and the only sound was the faint rustle of leaves in the cold wind. As she approached her house, she noticed a flickering streetlight right above her gate. Ignoring it as a power issue, she walked inside.
That night, I couldn't sleep. A cold breeze kept passing through my room, even though the windows were tightly shut. At exactly 1:07 a.m., I heard a faint whisper near my ear. "Why are you here?" Startled, I turned on the lights, but there was no one.
The next morning, her friends laughed it off, blaming her imagination. But things got worse. Small scratches began appearing on her belongings, her textbooks, and even her study notes. Each mark seemed deliberate, like a message trying to break through. What would you do if something or someone tried to communicate with you from beyond? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Determined to uncover the truth, Akshara visited an old library in Kolhapur, where she learned about the tragic history of her house. Decades ago, it was owned by a young woman who had been falsely accused of theft and ostracized by society. Heartbroken, she had ended her life within those very walls, leaving behind an unfulfilled spirit. Akshara decided to perform a ritual to honor the woman's memory. With the help of a local spiritual guide, she offered flowers and sweets, asking for forgiveness on behalf of those who had wronged her. After the ritual, the eerie occurrences ceased, but the story remained, a haunting reminder of the pain the woman endured. Late one evening, police in Jodhpur were called to investigate an unusual complaint. A truck driver had reported eerie occurrences along a desolate highway stretch. He described strange lights and whispers as if someone or something was watching him. The local station chief, known for his skeptical nature, dismissed the incident at first. "It's probably exhaustion or some local mischief," he remarked. However, the situation escalated when other drivers reported similar events. One even claimed to have seen a shadowy figure standing in the middle of the road, only to vanish as his truck approached. Determined to uncover the truth, the police organized a patrol team. As they drove through the quiet moonlit highway, the radio crackled to life with static, and an eerie voice whispered, "Turn back." The officers exchanged uneasy glances but continued onward. Suddenly, their vehicle's engine stalled without warning. All around them, the air grew unnaturally cold.
The team eventually discovered the truth. Years ago, the highway had been the site of a tragic accident involving a young couple. Local lore claimed their restless spirits roamed the area, seeking closure. After consulting with spiritual authorities, a ritual was performed to honor their memory and put their souls to rest. Since that night, the highway has remained calm, but those who travel there say they can still feel a lingering presence, as if watching over them. In a quiet town, whispers of an eerie event began circulating. It all started with a strange letter that arrived at a local police station. The letter, written in shaky handwriting, warned of a hidden tragedy at an abandoned school. It mentioned the school had been the site of horrific events and urged the authorities to investigate before it was too late. The police initially dismissed it as a prank, but when a senior officer, Arvind, heard about it, he decided to take a closer look. "Arvind, these things always have a basis in some truth," he said, gathering a small team to visit the location. Upon arriving at the school, the team was greeted by an unsettling silence. Broken furniture and faded chalkboard scribbles filled the rooms, but something felt off. In the main hall, they found a large, dried bloodstain on the floor. Too old to be recent, but too large to ignore. As they continued exploring, one of the officers noticed faint scratch marks on the walls. They looked like claw marks, as if someone, or something, had been trying to escape. Suddenly, their radios crackled to life with a chilling static, and a voice whispered, "Voice, leave now." What would you do if you found yourself in an abandoned place with such ominous signs? Let us know in the comments below. Determined to uncover the truth, Arvind dug deeper into the school's history. He discovered that in 2016, it had been the site of a gruesome crime. A businessman named Shailesh Kumar had used the location for secret dealings, which ended in betrayal and bloodshed. The victims, left without justice, were rumored to haunt the premises, seeking closure. With the help of local spiritual leaders, a cleansing ritual was performed. Though the hauntings have since ceased, those who visit the area claim they can still feel a heavy presence, as if the walls themselves remember the past. Hello, please, can someone pass me the margarita? Shake it up, please. These are the vultures. Let's start earlier today. Got a turkey? A mile motto? Wait, what? Haha! New episodes every Sunday. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the latest episode. We're here with Plate Kata, Blade Cutter, Egg, and Nadia Shakudo. Watch it as we dive into some amazing discussions today. This episode is all about the newest updates, including some fun takes on the latest trends, and we'll be joined by special guests. From Karan's legal expertise to Tony Boy's golf tips, and even a bit of sticky situations from Bangladesh. Today's series features exciting moments with Zibanejad, who will be giving us tips on everything from economics to shooting games. We'll talk about cool gadgets like Rick Horton's latest chocolate maker and some of the newest curry recipes. Get ready for a mix of tech, delicious treats, and everything in between as we dive deep into today's discussion. Stay connected with us. You can reach out by email at usalanon@gmail.com. Don't forget to like and follow our Facebook page. We'd love to hear from you with comments, feedback, or just a hello. Stay tuned for the next episode. It's going to be filled with even more surprises. In Mexico, Regina and her team had arrived in Doha to kick off their new project. They were busy chopping shallots and preparing ingredients for their dishes. Everything was moving along smoothly as they set up for a busy day of work. A driver had arrived to help with the transportation needs, and everyone was excited to get started. The team quickly dove into their work, building a strategy and figuring out how to manage the new location. They had to be quick and efficient, adjusting their plans on the fly. One team member, Shruti, was tasked with managing additional dishes for a garden project, while others worked on the logistics of setting up a new building. As the day unfolded, they had to deal with some unexpected issues. One of the drivers tasked with managing transportation seemed distracted and was having trouble following instructions. The team remained calm, finding solutions to each problem and ensuring that everything was running as smoothly as possible. Despite the challenges, the team's spirit stayed high. They remained focused on their goal to create something impactful and meaningful. As the project continued, they found new ways to adapt and overcome obstacles, making the most of the situation.
The Mission and Beyond.
Austin Tucker and Chakri were preparing to delve into a complex task ahead. They had coordinates set for a critical mission, gathering important data and making sense of a series of complex signals. As they pieced together the information, they realized this was no ordinary job. They would need to think quickly and adapt their approach.
In the midst of their work, a new player entered the scene. Bobby Aaron, known for his sharp mind and quick wit, was ready to tackle the next phase. It was all about precision, capturing the moment and making every move count. As they navigated the challenges of their environment, they knew they would need every bit of strategy and skill to succeed.
It was all about precision, capturing the moment and making every move count. As they navigated the challenges of their environment, they knew they would need every bit of strategy and skill to succeed.
On Twitter, a heated conversation was unfolding. People were discussing everything from apologies to the latest trends, even debating about a curious incident involving a cat. The chatter was lively, with static laughs and playful remarks floating around. Amidst the banter, there were mentions of powerful figures and outlandish situations that caught everyone's attention. It was a chaotic mix of opinions, but one thing was clear: the discussions were far from ordinary. Yelena Tamaki, a key figure in the debate, spoke up, drawing comparisons to larger-than-life personalities and making bold statements. Her words sparked intrigue, with some speculating whether she'd become a major influencer in the digital world. Meanwhile, others were caught up in more trivial matters, commenting on unusual topics like atomic energy, airport logistics, and even a strange incident involving a fridge. Isha sat quietly, observing the world around her as time seemed to stretch endlessly. The atmosphere was filled with a sense of urgency, as if everything was decaying before her eyes. The air felt heavy, thick with confusion. A nearby bodega buzzed with life, and there were murmurs about strange occurrences, mentions of people like Janeshia and others, all somehow tied together by an unseen thread. The day began with a rush of activity, as the bustling port of Doha echoed with the sound of transactions and decisions being made. There were murmurs about economic shifts, whispers of new currencies emerging, and a sense that something bigger was in the air. Amidst the chaos, a question lingered. Why was everything so easy to let slip away? People spoke of strategies, of moving past obstacles like the weight of a monopolist's grip, or the quiet ripple of an unnoticed revolution. Meanwhile, in the far reaches of the world, the energy shifted from the financial to the personal. A group gathered to discuss charity, to reach out with hands and hearts. In Kelowna, the rockets soared, both in spirit and on the field. The task at hand was not just about taking action, but about giving, with a baton being passed from one person to the next, each step building towards something greater.
The journey of life.
In a quiet corner of the world, I stood by a picture window, watching the world go by, while a different kind of world, one of food, comfort, and care, came into focus. From the sound of sizzling chicken curry to the setting of a table lamp, the simplest of tasks brought a sense of peace, a reminder that amidst the grand ideas, there were small, meaningful acts that mattered.
Somewhere, a conversation about body and mind unfolded. Words about nutrition and health were shared, and there was talk of protein and double IPAs, each reflecting a moment of connection. Then, as the conversation swirled, it settled into clarity. How important it was to listen to one's body and take care of both spirit and form. Amid the whirlwind, one phrase stood out: to nourish and protect. As the day drew on, an overwhelming sense of interconnectedness emerged. From the most luxurious corners of the world to the simplest of comforts at home, the rhythm of life continued, uninterrupted, even as the world evolved. In the quiet corners of the world, new paths were being forged. From the bustling streets of North Shortcut to the deep, mystic echoes of ancient traditions, the spirit of discovery was alive. A chorus of voices joined, speaking of the beauty and simplicity and the strength of heritage. A Grammy rap filled the air, its beat echoing through the halls of history, yet still grounding the present moment. In the midst of this, the Garden of Vegas blazed with life, its flames representing the drive to push forward, even when the journey was unknown. The ability to transform was in every note, every step, from the body's locomotive movements to the wisdom of Cassandra, a voice calling out with purpose. The intricate dance of genetics and the busy trade of ideas swirled as El Obito's journey continued.
Among the noise, there was clarity. A noble sheikh, wise with years of knowledge, offered insights, speaking of the power of tradition and the role of faith. The world spun, India's Krishna invoking reflection, while distant echoes of victory and sorrow resonated in the hearts of those who listened. It was the call to action, a moment to reflect, to embrace what was to come.
As time moved forward, hands reached out. The work of charity continued, with every effort driving toward a deeper connection. In the corners of the world, from Tokyo to the ancient streets of Kerala, the wisdom of past generations was being passed along, ready to be honored. A torch was lit, symbolizing the light of knowledge being carried forward to future generations. Meanwhile, in a place far from the chaos, the quiet of the dojo allowed for reflection. Techniques were honed, muscles were stretched, and minds were sharpened, each movement building toward something greater. This was the calm before the storm, a time to gather strength for the challenges ahead. In the distance, from Argentina's vast plains to the bustling streets of New York, there was a shared understanding that we were all part of something larger. Whether it was a journey to the heart of the earth or a dive into the complexities of life, the world was united in its mission to grow, evolve, and transcend. Monica, from Rochester, found herself caught in a whirlwind of tumultuous events. Her journey began in a world where military coups and whispered secrets shaped destinies. Tariq Islam, a figure both mysterious and misunderstood, watched as the world around him fractured. Baba Yaga, the eternal force of chaos, danced through the cracks, while Margaret sought solace in the comforting embrace of faith and hope. But the weight of the past was heavy, a history marked by persecution and struggles, from distant lands like Korea to the hallways of forgotten saloons. The dream of peace, once a possibility, seemed lost in the mist of time, yet still it lingered in the hearts of the oppressed. A new world was on the horizon, as the tides of change surged forward. From the deep wisdom of Aikido to the courage of those who dared to fight for justice, the mission was clear: eradicate the darkness that clung to the world. And so, the journey continued. Marine parks and islands of Oceania echoed with the voices of those determined to build a brighter future. In the midst of turmoil, there was strength. Kanakam, Polyphase, and Resolute carried the machete of change. The journey to physical and spiritual enlightenment was not easy, but with each step, the mission grew clearer: to console, to heal, to rise from the rubble and create something new. Even in the chaos, the rhythm of life continued, like a steady beat in the background. The world turned and new journeys were forged. Kentucky, Japan, and distant lands all called out for understanding and connection. A humble voice echoed through it all, one that sought clarity amidst the confusion, a voice that would guide others through the storm. From the quiet of the ship's deck to the hum of creation itself, the call for peace and unity was heard. And through it all, a reminder remained that even in the darkest of times, there is always a path forward, a path toward reconciliation and renewal.